Good evening. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net, the 08 machine. I'm Dave, WW7ATS. The Western Washington Amateur Television Society is a group of amateur radio enthusiasts that take to the airways with fast scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. We transmit on 70 centimeters. It's a crossband repeater, and we spit out images at 1.2 gigahertz. To find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, please Google WW7ATS. That's Google WW7ATS. That will take you to our homepage where you'll find out about our organization, the frequencies we transmit on, and also there you'll find a link to YouTube where we stream our nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Also, we'd like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR's repeater 147.08 with a specific tone of 103.5 for Cougar Mountain for our nets. So with that, I'll pause in case anybody has emergency traffic or needs to make contact before our net gets fully underway. This is Dave, KD7CYM. Hearing none. Checked in by video already for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society is Ron, KD7QKU, Bob, K9PQ, Richard, K7ITX, Jim, N7QO, and myself, Dave, KD7CYM. Is there anybody else who would like to check into the net this evening? Hearing none at this point, let's go up to Ron in Tacoma, KD7QKU.
Okay, well, thank you, Dave. Good evening to everyone. This is Ron, KD7QKU. Richard, you weren't at the 10 o'clock meeting, were you, or were you? No. Are you an ARRL member? Okay. That was a question that was kind of brought up. Well, let's see, just before the net here, I noticed the wind had died down a little bit, so I grabbed my little battery-operated leaf blower and I went out, tried to blow all the leaves out of my driveway, kind of out on the sidewalk and then down the front. I have a chain-link fence around my front yard, and so the wind blows through and the leaves accumulated right in my driveway next to the fence. So I got most of them blown out. So my lawn was mowed on Thursday, and those guys cleaned all the leaves up, but now I got a bunch of them back. They come from the trees in the park kind of across the street. They do a good job of cleaning them up over there, but they don't come over on our side of the street and clean up the leaves that have blown over from the park. One of these, I felt like going over and talking to them, because they were out there with machines that blow, and they were blowing them from the street, their side of the street, up on the sidewalk and then up on the grass, and then they were mowing them up. And I just about went out and said, I think all these leaves over here are yours. You need to come over here and blow these across to the park and then suck them all up. But I didn't. Maybe next time, next year. Okay, I guess for now I'll just turn it back to net. I like your hat, James. KD7QKU.
KD7QKU. Let's go to K9PQ, Bob in Bottle.
Okay, let me get myself switched in here. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, we had a good meeting today, a pretty good turnout, and it was nice to see Bert there. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on for me today. I got out a little bit, but mostly just hanging around the house, watching some TV, and playing some computer games. So it's been one of those kind of early winter kind of days for me, just kind of hibernating a little bit, I guess you could say. But we have got some things in the works. I've talked with Rob since our meeting, or at least texted with him and told him about the 1.2 gigahertz changes that are being proposed by the international union that regulates it, and so we're going to get together and talk about that. Tentatively, our plan is to do that a month from now, at immediately following our January meeting. So, but we'll see how that goes, and I'll definitely be keeping you guys up to date. Okay, I guess that's a good start. I'll send it back. This is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Hi, everybody. I just draw my pen, or I don't know, Mika hates pens and pencils, and anytime she can get to one on the table, she'll flick it off. Ever since she's been a kitten, she's always done that. And so she's sitting on my lap right now. You can't see her. Well, here, you can. There you go. Get away from her. You can see that. So anyway, so yeah, I had so it's either the treadmill or get out there and start walking around the stores and go grocery shopping and stuff like that for me, and that's a big deal. It never was before, but it sure is now. But it's a great exercise, and for me, I mean, for most people, it's just a stroll in the park. But I don't know if it is a stroll in the park in December, especially at Costco. I swear, all the normal parking spots were taken, but I thought, what the heck, I didn't mind parking a long ways away, because that's the whole idea for me anyway, is to go for a long walk. But I thought, well, if I can snag one close to the front, I would. And then, gosh, doggone it, anyway, as I'm kind of creeping around, here's one who just starts pulling out in front of me. I'm perpendicular to the spot. He comes out parallel, and I'm able to just cruise right in. However, as I was cruising in, I think out of the corner of an eye, I saw kind of a queue lined up to take his spot, and just because I happened to drive along and it was a perfect spot to nab it, well, I wasn't so sure if that was a good idea on my part. So as I'm looking in my mirror, sure enough, and the weird part about it, there was a guy right behind me on my bumper as I'm parked, and he looked exactly like my dad. And I thought, oh my God. Well, so I put it in reverse, and I kind of creeped out, and I think he finally got the idea that I wanted out of there, and I got out of there, and I was really pretty happy to see this. And here I'm going to say this old-timer, as if I'm some young pup. Anyway, so that's how my whole day started, out of the house. This was the first thing, and I thought, oh my God, But after that, got into Costco. I buy their Pacific Bold, those little thingamajigs for the Keurig coffee maker. And the weird part about that is, so the last time I was there, they had moved it to the other side of the building. And so I went straight to the other side of the building at the new place, and they weren't there. And then guess what? They're back at the old spot. And I'm thinking, okay, I bet you they lost some sales, and they realized they made a screw up. So, anyways, that was, I only bought 3 things. And it's so funny. I go to self-serve, and there's nobody really there. There's registers open all over the place. And the weird part about it is like, okay, there's one over here, they flag me in, and then what do? They just take a little scanner and they scan my items. So it's just like I was at a regular register. I didn't have to do anything except put my card in like I normally do. So I thought, whoa, I'm gonna continue this habit. So that was pretty nice. Okay, and then, so as I'm leaving, I wanted to go to Safeway. They have this Bai antioxidant cherry drink that I just love, and they usually have it on sale at Safeway. In Covington, Safeway is not very far from Fred Meyer. It's just, in fact, you just take a little, you drive a quarter-mile down, and it seems like the same parking lot. Now you're Safeway. But I had to go past Fred Meyer, a gas station, and so I thought, well, this is opportunistic, and $3.59 a gallon. I hadn't paid that in a really long time, so that was a score. And then from there, Trader Joe's bought about 5 of their pre-made Greek salads. I like those really a lot. And so while I'm buying those, I had ordered Euro meat only from the Olive Tree restaurant, just a couple stores down from Trader Joe's, to put in my Trader Joe's Greek salad. And so I don't buy the Euro on pita anymore, because that's just a waste of pita when I really just like to put it on my Greek salad anyway. So anyway, it was mission accomplished. K7ITX, back to net control.
K7ITX, get an ID out here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society Net, the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Well, let's go to Covington to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Good evening, everyone. Well, Dick, it sounds like you had a really busy day. It's that, if you're just going to one or maybe 2 stores, that's one thing, but it sounds like you hit the rounds there. And it sounds like you scored big time. But wow, that would have tired me out. I got to say that. Let's see. Leaves. Yeah, I have the same problem at my house. In fact, our whole neighborhood. We've got one neighbor in particular who intentionally cut down every tree on his property. He did so, I don't know, more than a decade ago. And yet, he always winds up with leaves on his property. So the people across the street have a yard service that comes by, and invariably they happen to blow some leaves into his property. So what he does after they leave, he blows all of the leaves back onto their property. And this is just like, holy cow. I understand, his frustration. They're not my leaves. I don't have any trees in my property. So, but it definitely ticks off some people. And then I have a neighbor who has a chain link fence, but because leaves can be blown through them, they installed like a screen sort of material, not quite as fine as the screen you'd find on your windows, but nevertheless a screen so that leaves cannot be blown through the chain link fence. And it seems like that's a good idea. It's just an effort at getting the stuff installed and all that. Let's see. And Bob, sounds like you did absolutely nothing today. That's a good thing. I was expecting that to be the case all the time once I retired, and then I found I don't know how I ever found time to work, so I don't know. But, you know, every now and then we need a day where we do absolutely nothing. I think it helps us to recharge our batteries. I don't know. Sometimes, well, I'd better bite my tongue here. Sometimes it's lucky not to have a wife. Okay, I didn't bite my tongue there, but anyway, I guess that's it from me for this round. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
7QO. Let's go to the Raiders of the Lost Ark. James, WU7N.
Yes, WW7ATS here. I see you picked up on that. Yeah, new Raiders of the Lost Ark movie out, which goes to show you no matter how old and arthritic someone gets, they can still raid a tomb. Isn't that great? Well, Jim, as far as it comes to charging batteries, you know, there are a specific number of cycles you can get out of a battery. I'm not saying anything about yours or anything, but I'm glad that Bob has recharged his. That's good. I, too, find when it gets dark at 4 o'clock, you know, that I have a tendency to do things like, normally I just go out and get some errand done. I look at it, it's pitch black outside, it's raining. I go, well, maybe tomorrow. So I think that's a common thing. That's why we have holiday celebrations all through November, December, right? It's to you know, pick us all up and get us around, and the turkey's hated, but I think everyone else enjoys it. So I think it's a good thing to do. The weather has turned absolutely interesting. My antenna in its what I call weather sensing position on the 1.2 gigahertz machine, I'm getting nothing. I mean, I can barely tell there's a signal there. And it's supposed to rain up to 2 inches Monday night. The long-term National Weather Service has just a gusher of water, just a whole atmospheric river coming down on us. And, you know, I think it's difficult for them to call it exactly within 6 hours this far out. But, wow, it's going to be really interesting Monday and Monday night. Because, I mean, you know, they're calling for significant amounts of rain before and after that. But I saw 1 to 2 inches in the long-term forecast. That got my attention. I'd also say, Jim, you know, leaves, okay, blowing leaves back and forth. You know, next thing you know, there's hostages and airstrikes. That's all I got to say. That's how it starts. It's leaves, and then it goes on from there. But you might want to tell your neighbor that. Well, let's see. The other thing I was going to say, let's see, what was it? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I have this lamp that's actually 2 stories up, because that's the entrance stairs to my house, and it's up on the inside of the vaulted ceiling. And I carefully put this in it some 12 years ago. There's a date on it. It says April 2011. And that lamp finally expired. And so, risking death, I put a ladder up there, but I couldn't figure out how to get the globe off the lamp. There's 2 of them, one's much, much lower, and I figured out, I relearned how to get the globe off the lamp, so I climbed back up the ladder of doom, and I was able to get the globe off the lamp. And so this time, I'm going to put in these kind. It's an LED bulb. And you'll notice on the front there, it says they're supposed to be good for 9+ years, with a little asterisk right there. Now, it says LED lifetime means the length of time, in years, until half of the LED light sources maintain at least 70% of their initial lumen output, where the lamp is used on an average, wait for it, 3 hours a day. The marketing department was in charge of the front of this box, and then the ethics people talked to engineering and made the back of this box. So it'll be interesting to see how long this LED bulb here really lasts. Something tells me it might not last as long as 11 years for this one, because I mean, I literally, every time I go up and down the stairs, I flip this on, And I think the reason it lasted so long is these are the kind, remember, that took about 60 seconds to come up to power. So I'd flip it, go up the stairs, get to the top stairs, flip it off. So its entire 11-year life, it never probably got to full radiative power. So that's probably why it lasted so long. The LEDs are way too fast for that, though. I mean, you know, you flip the switch on them, they are full on. And I do have to admit that this is supposedly, it says on the side of the bulb, on the side bulb it's 23 watts. I don't know if you can see that or not. It says 23 watts. Okay? Well, it also says 340 milliamps. So if you multiply 340 milliamps times 120 volts, you get about 40 watts. So once again, I'm kind of wondering if it's the marketing department and the engineering department that label the size of this bulb. This one, however, says, and I didn't really do any testing, but it says 14 watts, and it's supposed to be the equivalent of a 100-watt bulb. So we'll have to see what that bulb really does. I have 3 of its brothers to test to destruction if necessary to get them to give up their secrets. WW7ATS.
WW7N, and it's time for another ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. And again, this is Dave, KD7CYM in Lake City. Oh my, gyros and the salad. You know, at Costco they have a gyros kit that you can buy at the prepared foods area, and it comes complete with the meat too. So I don't know, that might be something to look forward to. And for me today, I had to get out to mail a couple of Hanukkah cards that starts on the 7th of December to be sure they got to the parties involved, to give them best wishes for the Hanukkah season. So that's about it. I've really kind of sit back today, and I was kind of a nothing. Well, it wasn't a nothing day. Highlight of my day was the meeting this morning we had for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. So with that, it's I've got 44 degrees and semi-overcast outside. So I'll send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU here. Well, Richard, I don't think I've talked to you since you had your turkey for Thanksgiving. Was it as good as you expected? I guess, yeah, he's saying it was. And James, it's the lumens that the bulb puts out, you know, and also, you know, there's different colors of those bulbs, so I don't know which color you got. We put some in our bedroom, and my son picked out the bulbs, and they were those blue, kind of blue-white. We couldn't stand them, so they were, you know, were they 100 watts? I think they were 100 watts. They put out like 1,600 lumens of bulb or something, so the 2 bulbs made 3,200 lumens, so it lights up the whole bedroom, man, I'm telling you. You can see a gnat on the wall. So that works out pretty good. But I had to change out those kind of blue-white for a more natural color. It was kind of, I didn't like it. Joanne didn't like it either. They were bright, I'll say that much. So let's see what else is going on. Not much else. I just mostly watch football. We were talking before the net. Those commentators on those East Coast games, they just can't bring themselves to say that the Huskies, you know, are like #1 in the nation. Because the Huskies were 13-0, and there wasn't another team in the country that was 13-0. And they would talk about the teams that should be in the playoffs, and then they would say, oh yeah, then there's the Huskies. Well, I don't know where they should be. You know, it's like, but and a lot of the other teams like Alabama, they're 12-1, and of course Nick Saban, he's got to be in the playoffs. He had a big thing about it. Boy, he was all upset that he might get passed over, but he did today win the SEC or SCE championship. So I guess he's guaranteed a place now. So, and we won our championship. So, and one of the groups that were on, they didn't think the Husky should be there at all. It was kind of disgusting, really. They didn't care what the team's record was. It was just, how tough they were and how tough an opponent they have played. So right now, the Florida Seminoles are playing, and they're 12-0. If they win, it's going to be kind of a mess. Sartesian, maybe you guys remember Sartesian. He was a Husky coach for a while. Well, he's the Texas Longhorn. They're 12-1. They beat Alabama, and so he thinks they should be in. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see when the next rankings come out. I just can't imagine they'll make the Huskies number 1. I think they'll be maybe number 2. They'll be in the top 4, but it's kind of disgusting. So anyway, I don't have too much to say, but I spent most of the day watching some kind of football or trying to pry my eyelids open so I could see some kind of football. It's hard to sit there for more than 30 minutes without dozing off. All right, I guess back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Again, everybody, I've got a few notes. Yeah, the whole leaves thing. I don't know if this guy's going to get away with, blowing the leaves back or even telling somebody that they need to take the leaves away. I think if it's on your property, you're kind of stuck. But who knows? I mean, this is just what I think. But I'm kind of with James. It could escalate very quickly. So I would recommend caution no matter what you do. Richard, your cat with the pencils and pens, I'd forgotten about that, and I don't know, I may have mentioned this before, but my cat was having some weird behavior, and I was told my friend who was then an active veterinarian and now is retired, and he said, well, cat behavior is cat behavior. So, pretty much no accounting for what cats do. And as for walking, wow, that is one busy day you had, Richard, and good for walking and getting out there, but I have to ask you one thing. You're retired. Why are you going on a weekend to do all that stuff when all the people that can only do it on the weekend are also there? Anyway, good for you for getting it all done, and the Euro meat, Euro salad. I actually have a place local here. Maybe I'll do this tomorrow because I haven't had it in a while. There's a place local here that makes a good Euro salad. They make Euros as well, but they'll make a Greek salad with Euro and Euro meat, and it's fantastic. What else? Let's see. The holiday celebrations, yeah, that's James. That I think does help pick us up in the winter, and also it gives us a reason for having to get out and do something, or at least clean the house if you're hosting. So it kind of breaks you out of that winter doldrums a little bit too. And the LED bulbs, I have the same LED bulbs. I put all LED bulbs in when I moved in. Switched out every single bulb with LED. The only ones I had problems with were in a closet I had with where it had a glass globe around it, pretty heavy glass. And LEDs don't heat up like regular bulbs, but they're heat sensitive. And I killed several LED bulbs there and finally just replaced it with a whole LED fixture, one of those ceiling fixtures you can buy that are with the LEDs built in. And that has worked great. I've been very happy with that. So that's my notes I've got. I will send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ, let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Right. Well, a lot going on. Well, kind of. The Husky football game. I see where everyone's coming from on that. It was way too close, though. That's the sad part. If they would have just kept playing like they did right off the bat, I think there might not be as much controversy how they should be seated. I'm pretty sure they'll be number 2. But if they could have just steamrolled over Oregon, they'd be number 1, and no doubt in my mind. But see, and Oregon's good, and Oregon will help them by us beating Oregon. That should put us at number 2. I'll be shocked if that doesn't happen. So anyway, and yeah, Ron. I see you're gone away. Oh no, there you are. Well, yeah, no, smoked turkey was fantastic. I still have quite a bit that we're munching on. I took a break from it the last couple days, but probably might have a turkey sandwich tonight, and then a big full-blown turkey dinner with gravy and stuffing and all the trimmings tomorrow. Right after Russell Wilson plays, I noticed they're on local television at 10 o'clock in the morning, and so I hate to say it, I'm a fair weather fan. Last year, Russell Wilson was a GOAT. This year, Russell Wilson, I'm a huge fan. He's won 5 straight. Will he win 6 straight? I think he probably will. He's playing Houston. So, and they just are, well, heck, they've got Taylor Swift on board now. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but that's a very popular singer that my daughter grew up with in high school, literally. I mean, not, just figuratively, but now she's in love with, what's his name, Travis Kelce. Oh my God. I guess as soon as she got out of South America, she went straight to his house. There'll be the Taylor Swift at the game tomorrow morning as well, or morning for us, afternoon for them. But no, I'm on the Russell Wilson train all of a sudden. I kind of lost favor with the local guys. I'm not totally giving up on them. And I think they just had bad luck. I think they had some bad calls to lose their last game against Dallas, of all places. And of course it was national television again, so I hate that kind of except, they've talked a lot of good about Seattle, so that was cool. So, that's it for, last but not least, Mike K7JRT used to be a local ham here in Kent. He moved to Wyoming, so his wife can run the server farms for the cloud, and what is it? Blockchain is a big thing down there. So, but anyway, the reason why I brought him up is I keep in contact with him. He just bought a racing car. It's a 2-liter sports car, Porsche, that has the world record on the Bonneville Salt Flats for 2-liter. And so, God, I thought, geez, what the heck are you doing, And so, God, if I might go down there one of these. That's one place I've always wanted to go, and I've never been there. It looks really cool, but I understand the rental car companies don't like you to take their cars out there, though. So that sounds like kind of a hassle. So anyway, K7ATS back to net control.
ATX and get an ID out here again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Jim, N7QO.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, Jim, Yeah, my 1.2 picture is coming and going, and it appears to be a little bit weaker than usual for some reason, but at least I see something. And as far as the LEDs go, I don't know. I've got like what they're calling a 60 watt equivalent, which is going to be approximately 800 lumens. They're showing like maybe 16 or thereabouts watts, and so this 14 watt, I think that's a little bit light to be a 100 watt equivalent. So there's something goofy with when they labeled the package there, I think. The 23 watt, which, oh yeah, there, of course there could be a screw up there. I have a number of those compact fluorescents, and typically the 23 watters would be what they would call a 100 watt equivalent. I have a number of outside lights, so I bought a number of the compact fluorescents way back when. I got these 5 for $1 basically, so I just got 20 bucks worth. I don't remember exactly where I got them, so I got like 100 of these suckers, and you know what, I'm just about out. So I am replacing them with LED type bulbs. And yeah, it seems like 60 watt equivalent is somewhere on the 14, 16 watt range. And then I had a larger LED type bulb, which has a 150 watt equivalent, and it quit working, so I thought I'd see if I could maybe fix the thing. So I popped the glass globe off of that thing, and there are concentric circles of LEDs on there. So when they wrote something about 70% or 77% of the LEDs are working or something, what I saw, one diode that's not working right will take out the whole unit. So I don't know. Maybe they changed them as time went by or something, or different manufacturer, different vendor, but rather bizarre. Anyway, I just happened to find this empty container here. I thought I'd show you. I guess my wife is right. Maybe I am somewhat of a cheapskate, but what can I say? Ron, Huskies, yeah, thanks for mentioning all that. And I saw the Crimson Tide won today. They beat Georgia. I think they don't even have a record as good as the Huskies. I know that the Crimson Tide lost one, so who knows what they're going to do with all of the placements. But yeah, the folks out east are definitely not accustomed to people coming from the West Coast. So we'll have to see what happens. And Dick, your friend there with the 2-liter Porsche, that's great. You know, everyone needs a hobby. I guess, I'm not sure. It seems to me sometimes you can get a hobby that's expensive, and sometimes you get one that's not so expensive. So I don't know how much money he's spending on radios, but we could be assured that he's spending a lot on cars anyway. So I guess we all have to have a couple of hobbies, or maybe one might say a couple of vices. It makes life good, I guess. K7ZYM and 7QO.
In 7QO, let's go to James, WU7N.
Thank you for your comments on light bulbs, because yeah, this is a mystery to me. I still can't figure out how they get 23 watts, and it's even printed on the base of this old curlicue at 0.340 amps, 340 milliamps. I played with that and tried root square mean, root mean square, and I still couldn't get that to come out. So that's still a bit of a mystery on that one. It's 1500 lumens. Is supposed to be the equivalent of a 100 watt incandescent bulb. These don't get nearly as hot, so I would guess that the energy that formerly went into just heating the bulb up and trying to burn Bob's closet down now go into light. That's my guess. I don't know. We could do more experiments with Bob's closet and see if that's really the truth or not. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. There is a channel you definitely want to watch. Oh, woo! All of a sudden we've got a great 1.2 gigahertz picture. This is weird. I wonder what happened. This is exciting fall weather in 1.2 gigahertz. Now it's all back to hardly able to be recognized. I wonder what occurred there. I'm thinking maybe the squirrel just ran up and deposited some more nuts and came down again, or something like that. Anyway, if you want to learn a lot about LED bulbs, you have to go check out a YouTube channel called Big Clive, C-L-I-V-E, Big as in B-I-G, Big C-L-I-V-E, Big Clive. He takes stuff apart, and he has really a good relationship with people on Alibaba, where I'm sure they know they're sending him absolute garbage, because he just has, little things that are supposed to, I don't know what, scratch your back or something, but he has this little British, Scottish accent, and he says how it can electrocute you. And he takes it all apart and explains it. He's a very good engineer, actually old school electrical engineer, and just fascinating channel, just fascinating. And it's easier to have someone else take all this stuff apart on the screen and just watch it than it is to do it yourself, I guess. But it has inspired me to take a few things apart and look to see what's inside. I was in a business meeting a week or so ago, and I found out, well, the three big events that kind of saved the U.S. economy last year was two movies, the Oppenheimer movie and the Barbie movie, combined with Taylor Swift shagging her butt on stage and singing songs. Now that sounds to me like a healthy, vibrant economy. It would have been curtains if it hadn't been for Taylor Swift and two movies. No, I'm not making this up. So I'm really hoping the Indiana Jones movie really takes off, if that's what the U.S. economy is dependent on. But that's just amazing to me. And then the S&P 500 stocks that are weighted, according to, how much capitalization they have. Well, 8 of the stocks in the S&P 500 carry a very, very large percentage of most of that capitalization, and they're all tech stocks. So I said to the other people on the call, what could possibly go wrong with that? But you have to be at least 30 years or older to get that joke. So anyway, that's enough cheery talk here from WW7N in Northeast Bellevue. Let me turn it back to Dave, our net control for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society.
Thank you, James. This is Dave, KD7CYM, talking about LED lights. About 2005, I installed, six LED flood lamps on a track light that I had. And so that's 18 years they've been running, but they're on a dimmer circuit, and I generally have them at about the half voltage. But that was kind of interesting. They have lasted. I remember at the time that I installed them, I think it was like $8 a bulb, and I'm going like, oh my gosh, these things better last, and they did. At the same time, I put in some 100-watt LED lights and just some regular light fixtures, and 2 of those died about 10 years later, but they do seem to have a long longevity to them. So anyway, a good investment in the LED lights, and probably for the amount of energy they utilize to glow, so that's very efficient. So that's about what's happening here in Lake City, so I'm going to send it back up to Ron, KD7QKU in Tacoma.
WW7QKU here. Well, James, that bulb that you were showing, the curly-cued one there, they get pretty hot. I had some of those in my lamps, and I taken them out because I thought they got too hot. I have, like you guys, I have LED stuff now and everything. But it is amazing. They don't get very hot. They don't put out much heat. But the only thing I seem to be able to talk about today is football. So the Mountain West Conference, I checked out today to see what teams are on. There's 12 teams in it. And the Boise Mustangs, they just won the Mountain West Conference. They won the championship. And they're pretty good teams in there. I think the Cougars will be right at home in that group. So if the Cougars and the Beavers go in, that'll make 14 teams in that group. Apparently they won't let the Cougars or the Beavers play for the championship the first year. So we'll have to see how that works out. But I think it'll be a good conference for them. I really do. So what else did I talk about? Not much, I guess. I haven't had a good Greek salad or gyro in a long, long time. There was a restaurant in Kirkland that we stopped at a couple of times. Man, they made the best Greek salad. So anyway, I like that stuff. I like Greek salad. Sometimes at the deli and Safeways, I would get a container full of what I call Greek salad. It has the olives and everything in it. And it was good. I like it in the summertime. So I guess that's it. Interesting to hear what you guys have to say. Back to net, KD7QKU.
QKU, let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
I'm kind of fading here, guys. I'm going to keep it short. A little sneeze. The 2-liter Porsche, though, that sounds exciting. I would like to learn more about that and maybe see a picture. If you can get us a picture, Richard. I think that kind of stuff is really cool. Something that has a 2-liter land speed record. That's pretty amazing. Other than that, I don't have a lot to add. Yeah, I now definitely want to get myself a Euro salad. That's going to happen tomorrow for sure. After all this talk, I've got to have it. And I guess the only thing I'd say, I think this goes for all light bulbs, even the old wire bulbs and the LED and fluorescent. There's different quality levels among all of them. You could, even with the old wired light bulbs, you could buy cheap bulbs that wouldn't last and good bulbs that would last, and I think that's still true with LEDs. So it's a little bit more of a crapshoot because you never know what's inside with the LED bulbs. You just really don't know. Unless Clive opens it up for you, I suppose. Then maybe you could know. Okay, well, have a good night, everybody. 73, this is K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
That's quite a light bulb Covington Jim just put on the screen here. That's pretty cool. Jeez. Yeah, as far as light bulbs go, in the beginning, before they had the curlicue ones, I was kind of excited about it. I tried to understand everything you guys are talking about, and just when I thought I kind of knew what was going on, next thing I know, the YL took over everything on our light bulb department. So, I said, well, what the heck? I guess I'm not going to worry about this anymore. The only bulbs that are I know right now that are not LED are the ones that are in our, we've got, I think, faux crystal chandeliers in a foyer like what you're talking about, James, where it's 2 stories up. Well, I guess 1.5, because if I put 1.5 from the landing, 2 stories from the bottom story, but from the stair landing where where the big one is, where you need to have it going up and down the stairs to, keep from getting killed at night, especially. But it's just like you said, how do you get up there when, and these are, there's several of them. Oh, and the other crazy part about it, you have to remove the little crystal prisms to be able to do what I'm talking about. So, it's, I think we've maybe done it once in 29 years. So for whatever reason, they last a long time, and I'm not sure why. And then same with the one in the dining room over the dining room table. I don't know why. They're only little guys, almost like a clear Christmas tree bulb, like with gas. I'm going from memory, which isn't too wise, because it's just something I don't look at very often. And then Ron, the Boise Mustangs. I don't know if they still have it, but the weird thing, they've always been a great team, but the weird thing about Boise is their football field. It's blue the football field is blue as Ron's shirt. The blue part of Ron's shirt. And football fields are not supposed to be blue like that. It's bizarre the first time I saw it. And the trouble is that when I worked in Boise, I worked on a high-rise in Boise, and from the airport to my job, I had to drive by the football field and see that blue field 2 times a day, It was weird. You just get used to it. And then whenever it's televised, it seems like it's blue if it's a home game. So I don't know. What can you say? So that's about all I know. Let's see, what time is it? I don't think it'll get back to me. So 73, you guys. It's been a lot of fun as usual, and I'm just happy I don't worry about LED bulbs and leads. I'm glad it's been a great topic that I don't have any worries about, and that's pretty rare. K7ITX back to net control.
ATX, thanks for that. Let's go to Jim, N7QO in Covington.
N7QO, thank you, Dave. Well, I've got this old bulb. I don't know exactly where it came from. It was in the family. It was in probably in the house in which my grandparents grew up or something. The filament still checks good, but I don't really want to apply power to it because I don't think I think it's probably maybe invented by Thomas Edison himself. It even has the little pip on the top through which they sucked out the air. You can see it. Right up here. So they somehow connected a vacuum pump to that and evacuated the container. It is a little bit discolored. Okay, it was discolored pretty badly on the outside. I guess it's a few decades worth of dust that was on it, but there is some discoloration on the inside as well. So I don't really want to tax it. Maybe somewhere I have a Variac. Maybe I'll try to put like 25 volts on it or something like that and see what happens. But I don't know. Of course, it doesn't really have any value, I suppose. I don't know. Wonder what they'd give me for it at a pawn shop. Gee, if they gave me $1, I could buy 5 more of those curly Q fluorescents. So I guess that's some value. I don't know what to say here. Let's see. Show the base. Yeah, it's a normal conventional base like what we have nowadays. Let's see. Do I have another bulb laying around here? Actually, I do. Hang on. Here's another. This is a night light here, just for the shack. And okay, all this stuff is produced from leftover or recovered goods or something. So I could actually I could actually plug this thing in right now, but no, I'm not going to. Might be entertaining, but I don't know. I guess that's all I got for tonight. Back to you, Dave, N7QO.
QO, let's go to James, WW7N.
Time in my life where before you plug something like that in, you'd always scream, "God is great," in Arabic. But I don't know, I guess we're not going to do that tonight. Well, anyway, guys, I see we have 3 minutes left. I will get the email out to those 2 new people, inviting them to our net. I get emails all the time about new hams, so we should probably start doing that a lot more. Let people know they can check in, check out the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Always open to anybody who wants to just say hello, check in, check out of the net, get a signal report. Oh, it does light up. Okay, all right. Now I want you to touch your tongue to those 220-volt prongs and see if there's a bitter taste, to see if the house current really is there. No, don't do that. Okay, well, anyway, I guess that's about it for me tonight. Let me turn it over to Dave to wrap up our net tonight. This is James, WU7N in Northeast Bellevue.
7N, oh my. Well, talking about lamps and lights, many years ago I was at Paramount Theater and they were servicing their chandelier, and I was surprised how they were going to get up to the chandelier. Well, they didn't get up. It's on a cable, and it came roaring down to the ground level, and they didn't use anything more than a 6-foot ladder to get in around the workings to change the bulbs, and that was kind of interesting. But other things with bulbs, last year I was in Arizona, and the refrigerator light burned out, so I went to the Ace hardware store and got a refrigerator bulb. Got back to the house, screwed in the bulb, and it blinked, it just flashed. Oh no. So back to Ace I went, got another replacement. They shook their head. Lo and behold, plug that one in, blink, out it went. And I'm saying, oh, do I dare go back again? But I did, and they gave me a third one, and it worked. So, who knows? I think something on the assembly line went kind of sour or something. But boy, when they flash like a flash bulb. And this is Dave, KD7ZYM in Lake City. Would like to thank the SeaTac Repeater Association for letting us use WW7SR STR's repeater 147.08 for our voice transmissions for our nets, held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the SeaTac Repeater Association, I'm going to terminate the net. Well, I guess I'll have to count down now. Well, just a few seconds too early. Oh my, 38 seconds, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. How did I get into this situation? 47, 48, 49, 50. Well, we're 10 seconds away from terminating the net for the evening for the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. Good evening all, and have a great evening. This is Dave, KD7ZYM, terminating the net at 9 o'clock. Good evening, all.